Hello, this is Ken Dowd, and I'm doing my my informative speech on duck management and migration of ducks. Management until the early 1900s, ducks and geese were numerous, so people thought that they couldn't be overhunted. The impact of market hunters often killed hundreds of birds a day, so when they bring them to restaurants and grocery stores, they basically almost brought them to the brink of destruction, and that was in the early 1900s. Deadly as a lot of people thought that the market hunters were, what they didn't realize is what the long-term threat up to the waterfowl was basically the loss of marshes and wetlands to create farmland, roads, and cities. The migratory nature of waterfowl made the recovery efforts of individual states ineffective. However, when they all worked kind of together, the states, the counties, towns, cities, DNR, which they had to create, basically that helped, recover and improve the nesting, resting, feeding areas for birds and geese. There's basically no more impressive sight than the large flock of birds flying from the north to the south or the south to the north. The reason why I believe that is because it kind of defines what time of year it is. If it's spring, winter, in the springtime, early spring, they start heading north to their breeding grounds and nesting areas. In the winter times, they head south. Sometimes they stick around, but most of them head south. So basically, fossil records kind of show that waterfowl appeared approximately 50 million years ago, slowly developing characteristics which now kind of make them distinct from their land-based cousins. One of the most important distinctions is the advanced stage of development for waterfowl young. Basically, when they hatch, instead of being like blind, naked, helpless like many other land animals, waterfowl hatchlings arrive with protective, warm, downy covering and their eyes open. They're usually capable of feeding themselves, a day after they leave the egg. Waterfowl are good communicators, because basically the communication process kind of already starts before the birds even unhatch. So within the eggs, the mothers kind of talk back, and the youngsters kind of make repeated calls to their mothers while they're still in the egg. Waterfowl, they kind of undergo kind of a molt or a change in plumage twice a year. So the prenuptial or breeding molt creates a highly colored plumage in the males. So that's kind of important for the mate selection process. Mate selection kind of usually occurs, when they get to their nesting areas. Females, they aren't as colorful as males, which I know we're all colorful guys. We can't help it. It's a curse. We got to live with it. And so they're more drab after prenuptial molt. It's a color change that kind of aids them in kind of hiding in their protective or in be protected with their young during the nesting cycle. The second or post-nuptial molt kind of occurs about the time the young fledge, or when they take off, and at this time both sexes kind of receive the eclipse of non-breeding plumage. So that's kind of one way that the DNR or taxidermists can kind of determine when the bird was shot. Did they shoot it out of season, which means that it's more colorful, it's got the prenup plumage, or did they shoot it during the season that they should have shot it? Duck migration kind of refers to the journey that species and ducks make each year from their permanent homes in the northern states down to the south for the winter, and vice versa. There are a number of reasons why duck migrate year after year, including breeding, feeding, usually trying to get away from the cold, which is probably why old people head south. Not all species of ducks migrate each year. More than 380 species of birds and ducks make the annual journey south. Some ducks and birds continue on just fine throughout the winter months in the north, but others can't. Usually I've seen geese around here, I've seen trumpeter swans around here, but usually the rest of them kind of head south for the winter time. Once in a while I've seen wood ducks, but that's pretty rare. But others can't stay here, so they have to basically head south. when the reverse kind of happens in the spring, when the weather heats up and the days grow longer up here, it's basically they all head north because it's perfect breeding grounds, and that's where their homes are. That's where they came from. No one really knows when it's time to fly south or head north. Some think that there's an internal clock with them. Others think that they just know when it's time to move. But nobody really has an idea. They all have ideas or thoughts, but no one really has any substantial evidence. Besides their internal clues, it's thought that both hearing and eyesight kind of contribute to the ability of ducks and birds to move south and north to the south and back again in a large group. Some trackers are people who kind of keep an eye on the migration and try to figure out what it's all about. Think that some birds and ducks kind of use landmarks such as like coastline or mountain ranges, or in our case they use the St. Croix Falls River. Or it's also thought that they may use the sun or stars at nighttime. Sun during the day, stars at night. So basically, Ducks Unlimited is an organization and a conservation group that kind of helps out with the waterfowl and has dedicated a lot of their efforts into creating more marshes and farmland and marshes and wetlands and protecting them from us overdeveloping it and building houses, cities, roads. So basically the most significant evidence that our efforts are actually working is that in the mid to late 1900s, when duck numbers increased by a remarkable 69% from their low in 1993, that was due to the conservation efforts of Ducks Unlimited and groups of people working together to create more marsh and farmlands. Not to mention that we also did have a wetter season, which helps. Dry seasons aren't as good. Like last year, the duck population kind of fell slightly just because it was just dry everywhere. It looks like that may change because there's still snow in April 15th, so, or thereabouts, whatever day it is today, April 13th. But there's still snow. It's just crazy. But anyways, this may be enough to create more water for waterfowl. So basically, that's it. That's all I have. And again, I'm sorry that I posted this late, but you guys will have to look at the reasons. I don't know what I'm doing with this YouTube thing. If you gave me a shotgun, I'd know what to do with that, but this YouTube thing is kind of a odd deal. But anyways, thanks for watching this, and I'll also have in my email why it got posted a day late or two. Anyways, hopefully I can get this uploaded. This will be probably the fourth time that I've tried this. So anyways, we'll talk to you later. Bye.